A tense standoff is unfolding in one of the most contested waters on the planet. Claims, counterclaims, and rising accusations are once again drawing global attention toward the South China Sea. And this time, China is directly accusing the Philippines of triggering a new escalation at Scarborough Shoal. Welcome back to Shadows of Strategy. Today, we break down exactly what is happening, why Beijing is pushing this narrative, and what the truth really looks like when you cut through the noise. Because Scarborough Shoal isn't just another disputed reef. It is one of the most strategic hotspots in the entire Indo-Pacific, and every move made here has consequences far beyond the region. The latest tensions began when China accused the Philippines of deploying vessels inside what Beijing calls its territorial waters near Scarborough Shoal. Chinese state media quickly published videos claiming Philippine ships were towing construction materials into the area. Beijing framed this as a provocation, insisting Manila was attempting to alter the status quo. But Philippine officials immediately rejected these claims. According to Manila, their ships were conducting routine patrols within the country's exclusive economic zone. They stated that China was simply pushing disinformation to justify its aggressive activities. Scarborough Shoal sits just 120 nautical miles from the coast of Luzon, making it far closer to the Philippines than to China. Yet, since 2012, China has maintained effective control over the area through Coast Guard vessels and maritime militia. What makes this standoff alarming is that Beijing's messaging this time is more direct and more hostile than usual. Chinese spokespeople are accusing the Philippines of serious infringements and warning of countermeasures, language that signals a harder line. In reality, it appears that China is reacting to something else entirely. The Philippines' growing alignment with the United States and the increasing willingness of Manila to push back at sea. In the last year, the Philippines has expanded security cooperation with Washington, accelerated joint patrols with the US, Japan, and Australia, and publicly exposed China's aggressive actions through videos and diplomatic protests. These moves have reshaped regional perception. Instead of silently tolerating harassment, Manila is now challenging Beijing openly. And that shift is undermining China's ability to control the narrative. This is why Scarborough Shoal matters so much. If the Philippines regains meaningful access to the shoal, it will mark a symbolic and strategic defeat for China. The shoal offers a natural harbor that could serve as a forward operating area for law enforcement and fishermen. It also sits along important sea lanes and provides Beijing with a foothold that helps project power deeper into the Philippines. China likely fears that the Philippines, backed by stronger alliances, could eventually challenge its presence there. And by accusing Manila of causing escalation, Beijing positions itself as a victim while preparing to justify stronger actions. But what does the truth point to? Independent satellite images show that China continues to maintain large Coast Guard vessels around the shoal, some equipped with water cannons and reinforced hulls. These ships regularly block Philippine fishermen from entering the lagoon, despite the 2016 International Tribunal ruling that declared China's claims invalid. The Philippines, on the other hand, has been conducting more consistent patrols, asserting its rights legally and openly. Far from escalating, Manila's actions align with international law and the principle of freedom of navigation. Another factor Beijing is worried about is the rising confidence of the Philippine public and military. Under President Marcos Jr., the Philippines has adopted a more assertive foreign policy, strengthening alliances and increasing transparency around Chinese actions. This resonates with Filipinos who increasingly support resisting Chinese encroachment. The result? China is losing influence and legitimacy, not only internationally, but also where it matters most, among the people living closest to the disputed waters. This brings us to the bigger strategic picture. The US-Philippines alliance is now one of the strongest in recent history. American forces have expanded access to bases across Luzon, giving them better positioning near the South China Sea. Joint patrols with Australia and Japan further complicate China's plans. If Beijing chooses to respond militarily, it risks drawing in multiple countries, a scenario it has tried to avoid. So what happens now? Scarborough Shoal is likely to remain a flashpoint for months to come. China may increase tactical pressure to test how far the Philippines is willing to go. Manila, however, appears determined not to back down. And with international support growing, Beijing's usual playbook of intimidation may not work as effectively as before. At the end of the day, the truth is straightforward. The Philippines is acting within its lawful waters, while China is attempting to shift the narrative to justify its continued presence. Scarborough Shoal has become a symbol of sovereignty, alliances, and regional power balance. How this standoff evolves will shape the future of the South China Sea. If you found this analysis helpful, please support the channel by liking the video and subscribing. This is Shadows of Strategy, and we'll see you in the next one.